guys, I'm Annabelle, and welcome back to Meeple Village. Today we're going to be doing a full run-through of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim The Adventure game. A couple of viewers requested this one, so here it is for you. Join me at the table, and let's play Skyrim. Alright guys, I've got the game set up and ready to go. We're going to be playing the tutorial now. In the game, if you follow the tutorial, it actually pretty much just runs the game for you. You just sit there and do whatever the tutorial says, to the extent where it actually tells you what you roll on your dice, and that's boring, and I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna play the tutorial because it has the least spoilers, and I will use the cards indicated by the tutorial, but I'm gonna be rolling my own dice and getting my own results. Hopefully we can still get to the end of the tutorial, and it's not going to affect anything. So it tells us to start at Whiterun, so I've placed my character. I did pick the character that the tutorial asks you to pick, which is the Khajiit, I guess it's called. I'll show you what the character looks in a minute. I have my player board set up. We start with a main quest, which we're going to indicate on the map with our color. Our color is going to be red. There's different colors for different players. And when you place a color quest, that quest is yours, and you're the one that can complete it. So I also start with some equipment, which I'm using the equipment that the tutorial asked me to put on. So I have a hide armor and an iron dagger. Usually you do not start with that equipment. I start with 2 plants because that's usually what you start with. There's also supposed to, we're supposed to start with a minor potion, but I was unclear if in the tutorial you're supposed to start with that one. So I took the plant, I left the potion out. I don't think we're going to be needing to heal. I hope I don't die, but we'll see. Anyways, so this is a final blow indicator, and that's if you've taken enough damage, you can do like a final attempt. But I don't think we're going to be needing that. And then we have our totals indicated by these white cubes. There's also little tokens that you can stick in there, but they're really hard to get them out, so the game actually included these cubes, which are easier to move around. So all these 3, and that one has tokens, but I'm using the cubes instead. And I'm at max health, I'm at max stamina, and I am at max magic, which I don't think I'm going to be using any magic in the tutorial, but there's space to hold my experience and my money, and I am not leveled up yet. What else? And I'm putting my armor here because it's hide armor. It looks like that. It goes on my hide spot, on my armor spot, and then my dagger is one-handed, so I'm putting it on my right hand. If I had another equipment, another weapon, I could put it on my left hand. If I had a 2-handed weapon, then I would put it in the middle. But my dagger only takes 1 hand, so it's just gonna go there. I have encounter decks over there, so in the game you're going to see a lot of icons. Most of them are dungeons, dungeons that you can go to and resolve. So caves are dungeons, ruins are dungeons, I don't know the name of all of them, mines are dungeons, that one's a dungeon, but then there's wilderness, and there's these, what do they call them, outposts that are like cities, and that's where you're going to be drawing that. So if you go to wilderness, you'll have a wilderness event for your turn. If you go to one of these outposts, like White Bull, what is it, Winter Bull, Hold, or Dawnstar, you can encounter a town encounter. So the game comes with a handy-dandy reference, 2 reference cards that are going to help us. But again, in the tutorial, we follow what they tell us. Which I kind of will do. I don't want to spoil too much. In any case, I'm going to show you my character. I'm going to show you what our objective for the game is, our main objective, and then we can get started. Okay, so once per game turn, I have an ability, my night vision. In combat, I can lose 1 health to gain sneak 1. And I will start with claws, no fist, but in this game I start with an iron dagger, which I'll show you in a minute. I also have a couple of abilities, but these only trigger after I level up and I gain either sneak or pickpocketing, so I won't be using any of these. And then here it tells you what happens if I rest, which I don't think we're going to need during the tutorial. Here's my dagger. It's an equipment, you can tell because it came from this deck. It has a few abilities, which we'll go over when we start combat. It also has sneak 1, so it adds to my sneak, and damage 2. And my armor gives me 2 light armor and also sneak 1. So I'm a pretty good sneaker, and this is also from the equipment deck. As far as the objective, this is tutorial 5 card. There's, I think, 8 cards in the tutorial. The words of the Daedra. My little pawn, you are living a busy life, aging for the Thalmor, and more importantly, for me. Now, do my bidding. I want that place empty. The reason? You need no reason. And it tells us to put a quest marker, which is that colored marker I showed you, at a cave in Whiterun. And we don't read the bottom. This is when we get to Whiterun, we'll get to read the bottom. But we can look at what our objective is and kind of see what we're going to be facing. So we need to clear the cave that we're going to be in. Or actually any cave. But in this case, since he'll be here, probably that cave will work. So I look at Whiterun and there is a cave. And I'll tell you, one of the things that really annoys me about this map is that I have a really hard time figuring out what region. So like, where does Whiterun end? Some of them are more clear cut than others. Like Whiterun is pretty clear, it has this yellow background around it. But some of them, it's like, wait a minute, is that still a part of Winterhold or is that somewhere else? But that one is pretty safe. So that's our quest, and now we're ready to go. I will tell you, there's before I get started, we're supposed to have a bunch of tokens and a bunch of cards all around the board, but I wanted to keep the area clean. And also, the game comes with this amazing tray that can hold all of your stuff. So instead of putting all these decks that would actually be out on the table on the board, I'm just gonna hold them here, and then these are all the tokens, and I've sorted them out. These are threat tokens, these are my level up tokens, resources, roaming monster tokens, experience tokens, and these are the quest, either colored or non-colored. So the gray ones are for anybody to complete, and then the color ones, which I have the red ones here, there's a red one, are for me because I've picked the red color, but I could have picked yellow or green, I think blue, during my quest. And then these are just the other characters, just leave them there. These are unique cards. Yeah, so we will use some of these, but I'm gonna just keep them off camera for now. And like I said, there's a card, a reference card, which will guide us through the turn sequence, although the tutorial does that as well. But you know, so for now, resolve game effects that happen before drawing an event card. We don't have any of those. The starting player draws an event card, and then there's 3 types. It can be an instant event, which resolves immediately. It could be an active event, which stays active until another active event appears, or it could be a world quest, which anybody can complete. You'll probably get to see all of those during the tutorial. So we're going to do that, and then we will resolve any game effects that occur after drawing an event card. Then we will add the threat, which you'll see in a minute, to any for any stronghold with 3 or more threat on it, which I don't think we're going to have in this game, but I'll show you what that means. And then all players move at the same time. You can move up to 4 spaces, but if you have horses, or if you're at a stronghold, you can pay money to move faster. If you have a horse, you move +1. And then starting with the starting player, everybody takes 1 turn. Then at the end of our turns, players who have enough experience will level up, and then we pass the player token. There seems to be a lot of steps, but it's not as hard as it looks. So the first thing we're going to do every turn, which is in the tutorial is every turn, but actually it's a little different when you're actually playing the real game. But in the tutorial, at the beginning of every turn, we're going to draw an event. Now, when you're playing solo in the actual game, what happens is you have an imaginary friend. So you'll have a starting player marker, which I don't even have one here because I'm the only one playing. You'll have a starting player marker. The first turn, it'll be your turn, but then you'll pass it to the imaginary friend, and during the imaginary friend's turn, you won't draw an event. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a catch-up mechanism, because drawing events every turn can be nasty. You'll notice some of the events, even in the tutorial, are nasty. But for now, we're going to draw an event card, and we get the first one, which we know what it is because it goes in a particular order. This is T1, so Troll Threat. And Troll Threat is a world quest that anybody can complete. So someone disturbed a group of trolls. They are now on a rampage. And if you notice, it also has the threat token, so we'll be adding 1 threat on the board somewhere. And then we have to put a quest marker on a mine in this place, which, can I even try to say that? I won't even try, but there. So the world quest goes here on the world quest track, and we can have up to 4. If we ever have a 5th one and this is full, we have to fail one of the world quests to be able to add the other one there, because we can only hold 4. But for now, we only have 1, so we're good. So here's this one, and we have to find the mine, which, where are you? It's right here, because all of this, yeah, so that's our mine spot. So we can go there and complete that quest. Of course, we are right next to the quest we actually need to, our main quest, so maybe it will be smart to do that. But before we do that, we do have to add that threat. So I have a threat token. I can put it anywhere that can hold it. And right now, the only place that can hold it is the world quest, which can hold up to 2. Or if you look at over here, it's all of our outposts, and they can hold up to 3 threats each. However, the minute we start putting threat on them, so if I put a threat here on Riften, because it has 1 threat, it is unstable, which tells you at the top, and the market is inaccessible. So I can't go shopping at Riften. And when you go shopping, you can pick a card from any of these decks that are depicted here at a $1 cost. So even to look at the wares, you have to pay money, which is weird. But in any case, I'm just going to put it here on the world quest itself. The tutorial actually wants you to fail that one, so you can get a feel of what it feels like to fail. So we're going to go ahead and go with that. And then that's the end of the event. So now we can, everybody move simultaneously. Of course, I'm the only one here, but I would move, and I'm just moving 1 through the roads to my destination, which is marked in red. And once I'm there, I can take an action. And you can either there's 2 things that you can do. You can have an encounter there, which would be delving into a dungeon, because this is a dungeon spot. Or I can do my quest. I cannot do both. However, in this case, my quest is a dungeon encounter, so it's the same thing. But if let's say that I was here, but I didn't have this quest, I could still go into the dungeon and reap the rewards of killing monsters. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that I'm here to complete my quest. So since I'm here, I can read below the line now and then try and complete the quest. So below the line it says, I reached the cave. I feel exhausted, but I must endure. Too much is at stake. I don't know why he's exhausted. We just started fresh, no wounds, and it took us 1 movement point to get to our destination. But okay. So again, our objective is to clear 1 cave dungeon. The tutorial actually tells us what to fight, but if you were playing in the real game, there's a reference card that tells you in all the dungeons what animal or monsters you will encounter. So for example, in the cave, I'd be encountering 2 animals, 1 first and then another. If I was in the mine, I would encounter, I believe that's a human, and then an animal. But, and the tutorial actually tells us to encounter that, just like this. 1 animal first and then another one, but it tells you exactly what animals you were supposed to face. I'm just going to pick them randomly. And just to show you, there's a bunch of, let's see, these are our animals, and you're supposed to have them here on the board. These are our humans. Then I believe these are the undead. And traps, stuff like that. I don't think they're called traps, but you can find traps there, or one of these. So you actually have all of those decks out on the board as well all the time. We're not going to be fighting much during the tutorial. The only thing we're going to fight are these animals. So I'm going to keep these off camera. I will, however, keep the animals on camera, or at least over here. And like I said, and they're already in a specific order, so I'm not going to shuffle them. But just so you know, they start at level 0. You're going to see it when I flip one. And then they go higher in level. So I believe there's 3 level 0s, and then there's other levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've never gone past level 0 yet. So I've only seen the level 0s. So we're going to confront 2 animals. So I'm going to place them like that. And the way you do it is you flip the first one, and we get a mud crab, which is actually the one that the tutorial asks you to encounter first. So you can see our mud crab friend is level 0. He is an animal. If you want to sneak, which is something that we're going to do, remember we're good at sneaking, that's the result you need to get. When he attacks, we're going to roll a red die for him, and if he gets these results, he's going to pincer us for 1 heavy damage. When we kill him, we're going to get 1 experience as a reward, and this is kind of his health track. It's really not health, it's more like armor. He starts with 2 heavy armor, and we have to get him all the way to 0 heavy armor to defeat him. So heavy armor is red. We're going to mark that he has 2 red heavy armor here with our red token cube, and then we're ready to start. So usually combat follows steps, and there's a reference card with all of the steps. It's going to overwhelm you. I will show it to you, but really what happens is the monster attacks, then you attack, then the monster attacks, then you attack. However, you can, at the beginning of combat, you can sneak, or there's also ambush, which we're not going to see in the tutorial, but we do have sneak, so I want to explain that. So before the monster gets to attack, remember they go first, monster attacks, then we attack. We can sneak in and try to get a hit on them. And my guy is really good at sneaking, so we are going to attempt that. Actually, the tutorial kind of tells you succeeded at sneaking, but we're going to do it the right way. So when we do a test, any kind of test, we always have 3 dice. That's like the base. So we get those 3 dice no matter what. But then we look at our equipment and our abilities, and we can add more dice accordingly. So my rope gives me sneak 1, so I get an extra die. And my dagger has sneak 1, so I get another. So I'm rolling 5. You also notice that my dagger, when I'm sneaking, it does double damage. So I might want to remember that. And my guy, which I just showed you, or girl, I don't know, has an ability, night vision, that if I lose a health, I can gain sneak 1, so I'll be rolling 6 die. However, if you remember, the mud crab only needs 1 of this result in order for me to sneak, and that's like the most common result on the die. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, so I get a 50% chance, I believe. Yeah, 50% chance of getting that. The triangle is next up with two faces showing it, and then the diamond is the hardest with only 1 face. So I have 50% chance on all those dice. The tutorial actually wants me to spend my health, but I'm not going to do it. I'm rolling this and hoping for the best, hoping that I can get that result. And there it is. I actually got 4 of those results. So it doesn't matter how many results you get. You only get to trigger the sneak ability once. So now what I have to do is I have to pay the cost. So if I look at my dagger, I have 2 offensive abilities that I can use. The third one is defensive, which will block any damage coming in. The first one has no cost. The second one, though, costs a stamina to use. Now remember, I'm dealing double damage. So if I use this one, my swing, which doesn't cost me anything, I'll be inflicting 2 damage, 2 yellow light weapon, I guess, light weapon damage. I'm inflicting 2 yellow damage. The mud crab has red armor, so all of the damage that I do with my yellow weapon, my yellow abilities, go right through him. So if I do 2 damage, I would kill it. So why waste stamina when I don't have to? I can just use my swing, which is going to inflict 1 damage times 2, so 2 damage. And I don't have to waste stamina. Now I do have to roll the symbol here, which is the hardest symbol to roll, and I'm only getting 3 dice, so maybe we'll do it. We'll see. You'll notice this red symbol, red wording over here. It's one-handed. If I had the one-handed ability, just like the sneak and the pickpocketing, I will add 1 extra die to my roll, but I don't. So let's see if we can get that diamond. And we actually get 2 diamonds, so that works. That's 2 damage, and the mud crab is defeated. We get 1 experience, and we put the mud crab, in the discard pile, which we're going to shuffle back in a minute. Experience gets accumulated here in this purple little square or rectangle. And now we move on to our next monster. We're not finished, and the next one is a skeever. In the tutorial, we're supposed to fight a bear, and then the tutorial kind of kills it for you. I want to actually fight. So this guy, same sneak as before, it's level 0. Any of these symbols will bite us for 1 red damage, and what we have is yellow armor, so it would actually hit us. Nothing we can do about that. It is 1 XP when we finish, but this guy has yellow armor, and we're inflicting yellow damage, so he is harder to kill for us. The way it works is if your attack, which my attack is yellow, matches the monster's armor, which is also yellow, let me mark it here, you only inflict the difference. So he has 3 yellow armor. If I inflict 6 damage and he has 3 armor, well, actually, if I inflict 5 damage and he has 3 armor, I will only be inflicting the difference, which is 2 damage, and this will go down too. So matching the same armor to my weapon is actually bad because they defend well against my attacks. But before we do any of that, we're going to try and sneak because we're really good sneakers, right? So, and he should be easy to sneak. So I think I'm just going to roll the 3 that I start with, and then 1 from my robe and 1 from my dagger. I could lose a health to add 1 more, but I think with 5 and him just needing that symbol that is easy to come by, I should be fine. Of course, I might not be, but I am fine. And then I need. Oh, by the way, I didn't pay for my ability last time. I should have spent. Oh no, I used the free one. So, so this time I'm gonna. Let's see. Well, if I stab him, which will inflict 2 damage, and remember is times 2. That'll be 4 damage. I really wouldn't do anything. Well, I would do 1 damage to him because he has 3. So 4 minus 3 would be 1 damage. However, if I only hit him for 1 and he sucks up all that damage, he still loses 1 damage. So no matter what, as long as you use your abilities, you will hit. You just only hit for 1. So I think I might as well just hit for 1. Of course, I need to get that diamond again, which is hard. Oh, actually, no. When you're sneaking, you don't roll. You get an automatic success. What am I talking about? That's why I didn't roll before. So when I did my sneaking, I just killed the mud crab. Or did I roll? I might have rolled. I shouldn't have rolled. So yeah, that's something important. When you're sneaking, you get an automatic success. You still have to pay the price for the ability that you're using, but you don't roll to see if you succeed. So I will succeed with my swing, inflicting 2 damage because on my sneak I do +2. So it soaks up everything, but still loses 1. So next up, the monster is gonna go. So finally you get to see what the monster does. So pretty easy. The monster's going to roll red, and we're gonna see what face he gets. He gets a skull. Since he got a skull, he's biting us and we're taking 1 damage. Our armor, which is light armor, does not prevent that because they don't match. So we're taking the first damage in the game, just moving our cube down. But now it's our turn to hit back. And I need to pick what ability I want to use. Do I want to stab him or do I just want to swing? He is at 2. If I stab him, I'll only be doing 2, which will just bring him down to 1. But it's easier to roll the triangle, so I am going to stab him. So I am going to move my stamina down, and then I'm rolling 3. And of course I didn't get it. So what I can do is I can, no, all is lost. I need a diamond. What I can do is I can push. And the way I push is by losing another stamina and re-rolling 1 of the dice. And there it is. I got the triangle. So because I got the triangle, I am hitting him for 2. He does have 2 armor, so he only takes 1 damage. And we rinse and repeat. So he's going to go again. And he gets an axe. The axe is a bite, so I lose another health. And then I'm just going to swing because it doesn't cost. Well, actually, you know what? I'll pay the stamina just because it's easier to get the diamond. I will regain all my stamina at the end of the monster's turn. And at the end of the turn, of the game turn, I regain all my health and all my stamina. And there's diamonds, so yes, we have defeated him. So because we defeated him, we get 1 XP. Put it over here. I regain my stamina. My health I will regain at the end of the turn. We put this guy in the discard pile. Also, whoever defeats the last monster in a dungeon gets a special reward. And the reward you get is based on the level of the monster. So for level 0 monsters, we're just gonna pick a basic item. But for higher level monsters, you would maybe get to pick from the advanced treasure deck. But for now, we know exactly what we're gonna get because we put this here according to what the tutorial told us. We get Jester's gloves, which add a sneak of 1, so we're even more sneaky. You'll notice the icon on the top matches the one here. We can have up to 4 in any combination of either rings or potions. And I don't know why Jester gloves are a ring, but we'll go with it. So, okay. So with that, we have also completed our quest. Yeah, right here. So because we cleared the cave, we gained our experience, we gained our stuff. We are going to flip it, and we're going to read the success section of it because we successfully completed the quest. So just to recap, we went to the cave, we cleared it, and we succeeded. So we're over here. While leaving the cave, I get the feeling that will not be the last bear I will face. And we gain 3 experience. So the tutorial asks you to, like I said, face a bear, and it kind of kills it for you. We didn't face a bear, but you get the idea. So we're going to get 3 experience, and then we keep reading. That night, I find a note from the Thalmor under the door. Dangerous criminals have been spotted in Skyrim. Use your contacts to capture them. Find their names on the back. Payment as usual. And then the bad guy tells us, or I don't know if it's bad, but sounds bad. You are my pawn. I am tired of these Altmer. Ignore their request. That's an order. And then we have an option. We cannot ignore the Thalmor, which will be doing what these guys are asking us to do. Or option 2, I better obey the prince, which is this red speaking thing. If we pick option 1, we will add T6, tutorial 6 card, and if you go for option 2, we'll do T7. The game doesn't come with a T7, so the option is really not an option. We have to go for T6 and actually not listen to the red voice in our head, but go for the list. So the list, I have some contacts in Windhelm who owe me some favors, time to get even. And we're gonna put a red colored quest token in Windhelm. And then for this one, our objective is we're going to roll 3. If we had the speech skill, we would roll 1 additional one, but we don't. We need 2 of these results. We can push with money, which we have no money. So remember, I got 3 XP from completing my main quest. So I'm up to 5 XP. In order to level up, I need 7. That's why there's a spot here for my first skill upgrade here on the 7. If during my turn I go above 7, so let's say that somehow I gain 4 more XP right now, I wouldn't get anything past 7. I will go up to 7 and the rest I lose. I cannot keep it to level up. I have to start from scratch again. But that's that. I got 5. I still don't have enough to level up. And we're putting this on Windhelm, which is over here. So that's another place where we can go, or we could complete the world quest. So that's the end of the turn. At the end of the turn, we would level up if we had enough XP, but we don't. We also regain all of our health. And we move on to the next turn, where we're going to reveal another event. And this time, we know it's excess wares, which is an active quest. So active quests go on the active spot. And if we ever draw another active quest, it will be replaced. This one will go to the discard pile, and the new active quest will be the active quest from then on. Let's read it and move on. Recent economic activities had an impact on the amount of raw materials available. When exploring either a wilderness or a town, an outpost, gain 1 additional, and that symbol is the symbol for resource. So we get an additional resource of our choice. We do have to add 1 threat. So that's our active event. We have a threat to add. This one cannot hold any threat. That one can hold up to 2. If we put a second one, we will fail the quest, so we don't want to do that. So we'll go to one of these towns, one of these outposts, and cover the first one. So the tutorial asks us to cover the one in Solitude, so who am I to object? So if we are ever here in Solitude, we cannot interact with the market anymore. That's that. We did the threat, we did the event, now we get to move. So the tutorial wants us to go explore an outpost so that we can see the actions that we can take there. It sounds like a good idea to show you guys. It wants us to go down here, but I'm thinking, well, I'm right next to a town and it's closer to my next quest. So I will ignore the tutorial and just go to Whiterun. Same thing is going to happen because when you get to Whiterun, well, in town, and I'll show you the card. Oh, but wait, I forgot to show the combat card. So I'm going to show you the combat card, and I'm going to show you the card for when you're in town, the actions that you can do. You can have an encounter for sure, which we're going to do also in a minute. So let me grab it so I can show it to you. It is the one that the tutorial asks us to put out. It's called Narins. So I'll show you Narins. Let me show you combat, and let me show you what else you can do while in town. So here's all the combat steps. Sneak first, and then the combat sequence. You can pause it and read it, but I pretty much told you what happens during combat already. And then here's what happens when you are in a stronghold. I call them outposts, but I guess they're called stronghold. You can do any of these in any order. You can take one turn action. You can either complete a quest or explore a stronghold, which will mean drawing one of those cards. We don't have any quests here, so we are going to be drawing one. Well, we already drew the card, Nariz, whatever the name was. Nariz? Sounds like nose. Then we can upgrade or enchant items, sell items, buy items, craft items, buy a horse, blah, blah, blah. And then over here it tells you when you're visiting the market what to do. You pay $1 to look at cards. And then when upgrading or enchanting, you do all of that, which we're going to do. So here's Narin's. She says, help you out with some criminal? Of course. Give me a hand with this project first. And we will gain one resource of our choice. Now, if you remember, our active quest gives us an extra resource. So we'll pick those in a minute. And then we have to craft a sturdy chain for her, which we will be rolling 3, the normal. And if we had that skill, we will roll an extra one. Well, we don't. We need 2 of those results. And we can push with plants, which we have 2 plants of. Here's our reward. We'll gain 2 gold and 2 blue things. And then we'll trash this one and add T8, which is another card on the tutorial. Okay, so first things first. We are going to get 2 resources. One from here, one from there. And I'm going to pick the blue ones because I'm hoping to, well, actually the tutorial kind of wants us to upgrade our dagger. So we'll do it like that. And then we're going to take a test. So we're rolling just 3. And we got 1 success, but we need 2. So just like in the card, it tells us that we can push by using a plant. So I'm going to use a plant to reroll one of my not successful results. And I actually got it. If not, I could spend even another plant and push again. But with 2, I am successful. That's all I needed. And we gain, like I said, $2 and 2 more blue. All right, so I put my $2 here, and then we would get 2 more blue, which I could get, or I could flip this over, and it has a number 3 on it. So be careful. You have to make sure you don't flip them accidentally. And now I have 4 of those blue resources. And then we're going to get rid of this one and add a T8, which is going to be probably a personal quest. When you go to an encounter in one of either the town, or what do they call them? I forgot already. Strongholds, or the wilderness, you would most probably, if you once you complete this, get a personal quest. You can hold up to 2 personal quests. So I would have a main quest and 1 personal quest. I could hold another personal quest. Okay, so here's T8, a ruinous trap. Narins leads me to a ruin not far from Windhelm. We're going to put my color quest token on a ruin in Eastmark. And then we don't read this, but we know that we have to roll our stamina. So we have 5 stamina, so we'll be rolling 5 dice. We need to get a result of 3 diamonds, and we can push with plants, which we have 1 of. So I keep my personal quest here to remind me that these are the ones I have. I can also remember that one everybody can complete. And then these go, the quest token goes on a ruin in Eastmark. Now, because there's 2, I get to pick where I want to put it. I'm up here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can reach that one next turn. And I think that's what the tutorial wants you to put it. So if I put it here, I won't be able to reach it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So I think that's a better choice. And then I can go up to Windhelm next turn. So that's it. We did it. And I will regain all of my health, all of my stamina, but I didn't spend any this turn. So we move on to another event for turn number 3. And this is a Daedric influence. A Daedric prince is a Daedric prince is forcing their will on Skyrim. Add 1 threat to each quest. So the tutorial wants you to see what happens when you fail. That's why they're doing this. They're actually making us fail our world quest. This is an immediate event, so it gets discarded immediately. We're going to put threat on anything that can hold threat. So our personal quest can hold up to 4, so we can add 1 there. And then that one can hold threat, so it's going to get a second threat, which means we failed. So let's see. So when we fail it, we go over here to the failure result and place a troll token on any wilderness space. Ouch. We didn't get to complete this. So we get our first roaming monster, a troll, and we can put it in any wilderness spot that we want to. We're going to put it far away, of course. This guy moves, events will have it moved, or other things in the game. So it doesn't move unless something makes it move. And obviously when it moves, it wants to come and get us. So we're gonna put it as far away as we can. I think the furthest one is up here in this wilderness. So how about that one? I know the tutorial asked us to put it somewhere, but I don't remember where. So just leave it there. It's not gonna move. The events are not gonna make it move. So it's gonna stay safe there. If we ever end up there, if he comes to us or we go to him, there's a number on the troll card. You see it is 367. So we will look in the big box of cards that we're not using for the tutorial. Look for 367, and it's just going to be like a monster, like the animals that we defeated. And we can defeat it and probably get some rewards. By the way, we forgot to, in our first time, we forgot to shuffle this back. So the way it happens is, after you're done with the dungeon, you shuffle these back into the deck. You grab one more, and then you take the 3, or however many there are, but usually it's 3. You shuffle them and you put them on top, because that way the level 0s are still on top. You just don't know which one of the 3 level 0s you're going to face next time. So I should have done that. Sorry about that. All right, so we dealt with the event. We failed the quest, and now we get to move. I think it is we were going to go here to the ruins, because we cannot get to our main quest, can we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we can't. So we'll have to do that one first. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are here. So in order to remember, we have to roll our stamina, which is 5. So we have 5 dice, and we're looking for 3 triangles. And we have 2 triangles out of the 3. So I could push. It's going to be tough. I have a plant, and it says I can push with plant. Let's see if I can get one more triangle. And I don't get one more triangle, and I am out of plants. So we actually failed the quest. That's okay. The tutorial actually wants us to fail this one. According to the tutorial, we failed it as well. So the cage is too heavy for me. We managed to attach it to the hook, but it seems unstable, almost dangerous. We had a threat. And no matter what, we read this one there. We would have gained 4 experience, which should have helped us level up, but we didn't. Narines decides to test her trap on one of the criminals I mentioned earlier. Seems like a good idea to me. Yeah, because we're trying to get rid of those criminals anyways. So we do need to add a threat, and there's nothing on the board that can hold it, so we have to put it in a town. So we'll just put it here. Doesn't really matter. I don't think I'm going to go shopping. And this gets discarded. There is no longer a personal quest for me. But with that, that's it. I'm done. And by the way, if I would have gotten the 4 experience, let's say I would have succeeded and I would have enough. I have 5, so I would only take 2, because the other, I'm up to 7 and I don't need any more. What happens is when you level up, you'll gain a skill, and you can grab any skill you want. There are 2 levels. You start with the skill on level 1, and then you can upgrade it later to, I believe it's called a legendary skill. We covered that. And also we can increase the total amount of any one of these tracks. So I could go up to my health would increase a little bit. The issue with increasing is that once I'm here, when I battle monsters in a dungeon and they're level 0, they are actually put out of the game completely. They're back in the box. That makes the monsters in the dungeon a little higher level, more difficult to kill. So that's how you kind of build up the difficulty as you also get more skills and are more powerful. But we are going to I believe the last turn. Yeah, this is the last event. We failed. Yeah, correct. So we're going to the last one. Perfect weather. It's an active event, so it's going to replace the active event that we currently have, which was giving us extra resources. The mild temperature lifts the spirits and makes every task easier. Once per game turn, gain a die when rolling a skill test. Alright, so our active quest gets discarded. We have a new active quest, and for the last turn of the tutorial, we get to move 4, and I think we can reach 1, 2, 3. Yes, we can reach Windhelm, so we're going to try and complete our main quest objective. Let me show it to you again. We're here in Windhelm, so I enter Candlehearth Hall and approach one of the guards off duty. He listens to me while I explain the situation, so I need to convince him. I'm going to roll, convince the guard. I'm going to roll 3 plus speech. I don't have speech. I need 2 of those results, and I can push with money. Now I have $2 to my name. I'm only rolling 3. I rolled 5 before and I failed, but this is the easy result. Let's try. And I only got 1, so I'm going to spend the money, $1 to push. And there it is. So I got it. And since I got it, I'm successful. We're gonna flip this over, we're gonna read it. Success. He agrees to honor my request. He also seems eager to do what I ask. I give him the list. Gain 3 experience. The list the Falmor gave me is long. I will have to use most of my contacts to fulfill the Falmor's request. My little pawn, you disappoint me. You chose a different master. Maybe it's time I find myself a new pawn. So with those 3 XP, I would actually just take 2 because I'm up to 5, and at the end of this turn, I would level up just like I explained. However, this is the end of the tutorial. The tutorial says, congratulations, you've done it. And really, it's shown you pretty much everything that can happen in a game of Skyrim. The choices you make are going to have an impact. If you fail quests, things are going to get nasty for you out there. So you have to kind of balance everything out. But overall, really good. I like it as a solo game. I think also with more players, you're going to need some cooperation. But really, really good, solid game. Hope you enjoyed it.
Ooh, won't you remember?